puzzle and logic here, and let's take a look at how to design this thing but not actually writing the code from scratch. I'll do a separate video where we write the code from scratch, but this time around let's explain what the code actually does. Yeah. And starting from the top, let me do this. We have a link that controls our icons that we are going to use. That's from font awesome, and I'll do a video whereby I explain where to include them. Then also we have an external CSS that controls the styling, and our font, that's the Lexan font from Google Fonts. Yes, yeah. Then the next part I'm going to consider is our header. The header mostly deals with the navigation part of our code, and this website contains 3 pages. That is our home page, our services page, and the contact page. Yeah, that's where you can book appointments and also have the service that we provide or the contacts info that we have. Yeah, and we can see from our HTML that we have two classes, that is container and header container. I use this container to control the overall pages in our listing. Therefore, if I should check for container in my code, you can see that we have one container here, another container here, and since the same class name has been used on this guys, whatever you specialize for your container, let's say I search for container here. Now this is the container stuff, the width of 100% and max width of um the max width. And if I'm doing CSS, I mostly prefer variable, and the reason being is simple. Variable changes at some point in time. That means in our code, if you use a variable and we made a mistake somewhere, there's no need for us to go and look for where we made a mistake and change that part only. That means if we have multiple elements or classes sharing the same style properties, then we have to manually do that. But when you have a variable, we just have to get to the variable, tweak that part only, and to affect any part that is using that same variable. That's simply what help me when I'm writing CSS. That's using variable for my listing. That's now you can see it's a variable contain a lot of list here. Yeah. Then let's continue to our homepage discussion. If you go to our website, this is the header part I'm talking of. This is the header part, and it has three navigations. That's the home, the services, the contacts, and you can see them from here as well. Yeah. Let's talk about their styles. Now, if we go to our header, search it from here and go to our header, the header has a background of white. Now, if we were to use variable, and you can see here it's not a variable, right? That means if we have a white thing and this also has a background of white and we want to change that, we have to manually, as I said, adjust about with a variable. You can simply go to where you have a variable, change that only part and to affect the rest. Yeah. Now we have a box shadow of the variable that we specify for that box shadow, as you can see from the top here. Yeah, the shadow, that this is a shadow. Yeah. And we set the width to be 100 pixels to that, then the top to be 0. That means it stays where it doesn't move from the top to the, there is a position controlling it. And very much set position to, you get the chance to set the top, left, right, and the bottom. And our z index, that's the appearance to our z position to be 1000. That's big number. And this the header part, and it's not a class, it's a HTML semantic that we call. Yeah. But this is our class, a header container that we are set as a class. We set the display to be flex, that's the children has to possess a flex property. We set the justified content to be space between, and we can see from here the header container controls from the logo section to the nav section. And what we are doing is that we will call the navigation here, this guys and this guy, and the spaces is justified between them. That's that's why they are spacing like this. Yeah, that's basically what they mean. Then the padding here, that's the top and the bottom has 1 rem and the left right has 1.5 rem. And we can clearly see here, if we make this guy big part, you can see from here, that's the left and the right has 1.5 rem. Top button here has 1 rem. That's mainly what is happening under the hood here. And our logo too, we adjust it to be this. And at first I was having an icon, but I've removed it. Then the icon was possessed. That's why we have the display flex on it. It was having an icon here. Where that one to again I got it from the font action, but I've removed it. And if you remove the flex property on it, it won't affect anything. Nothing will change. Yeah. Then the next page that we're going to talk about is the home page. That's the main page, mostly called the hero section. And the hero section get the attention of the user. That's the very first thing that the user is see when they come to your website. Yeah, and you can see that's here quality healthcare for you and your family. And we have a little paragraph explaining what we do, like mostly that's our Mechy care. We provide comprehensive medical and blah blah. That's what we need. And we have two buttons here. That's our services and our book appointment. Our service will link you to this guy, and a book appointment to go to the contact. It performs similar thing to this guy here, like that and like that. And the home to will take you back to our home or the hero page, and we can see smooth transition between them. That's controlled by the smooth behavior of HTML. If you go here, HTML here, we said that the scroll behavior should be smooth. That's in our page. Yes. And as I said, the font that we're using is Lexa, and it's affecting all the content. So we call the body part of HTML and give it that. And our flow is hidden as none of the elements go beyond their parent container. And if we try to do that, we hide it unless maybe it's a scroll that we specify. Yeah. Then our hero section also has this class called hero for proper styling. And if we check it from here, you can see, and it has a Lilian gradient from this guy to that guy. That one too can be testified from here, that it, this is the blue part and this is the green part here. And don't worry, you write a code from scratch where it explain details and why we use that. Yes. But here I'm just explaining what is happening under the hood, so that when you write the code, it won't be something that will overflow or blow your brain or something. The next page that we are going to discuss is the section, that's the preview, the section page that those are services that we deal with in when you come to um Mechy care. We we have a container, and you can as again see here the container we specified earlier on is also here, and you can see it from our hero section too. We provide our title also in a class called section title that we can group a common, we can start it since we have it. Mostly the reason why we use classes, if you use this HTML tags without classes and you have multiple HTML tags, the same tags, and you want to style each of them, since they don't have a common class and you call the tags, the style that you give for that particular tag will affect all of the elements, no matter what you specify for each tag. Once you specify one for each, it affects the rest. But with classes, you can group them, then style them appropriately, whereby it doesn't affect you. Here it's happening. We have our section title. That means if you go to our page whereby we find ourselves to have H2 and it doesn't possess this one, it won't affect it. Just take this guy here. That's the beautiful thing of a class. Yeah. and we have a grid controlling our card. This grid is the main container for our card. Then we have the services card and the appropriate icons here. So here is our first card, our second card, then the third card here. And on the page two, we can identify that first card, second card, and third card. Yes. Then the next page is the contact page. The contact page is in two. We have our contact lists and our booking form, and they are placed side by side using the help of a grid box. If I search here and go to contact, we can see here contact page that's having this contact container. Sorry, here we have a display of grid, and the grid template column is set to be repeat. Just that we don't want to write the same code multiple times. We just write one and repeat it for the rest of the grid styles here. And the contact info controls the left part of this side. That's the contact info. This control this part, and that one contains our contact, and that's it. And again, we have the contact form that also control the booking form here. This here. That's what is happening on Motherhood. And the next part that we're going to talk about is I did something here that on larger screens we should show our assurance or insurance page here. This insurance. If we open this line scroll here, we can see the insurance provider is here. But on small screens, we won't show that. On small screens, let me go here. Yes, I think I adjust that. Yeah, I remember. I adjust that so that. But what I figure I do is that on small screens you won't see this. But I think I've adjusted that to fit that. Yeah. And the last part is our footer. That's this guy here. And its style is starting from the where we have the footer. We call the semantic tag, then we give it a background color to have our dark color here. That's the CSS variable here. And if you change it to something like this, it will automatically affect it. No need to do the rest. But you see that with a variable, it's what it does is that any part of your HTML that have this dark variable in it, like you can see the body has that dark variable, the booking form also have that dark variable, and the variable is changing. Since the variable, it affects all of the properties on it. That's what actually happening under the hood. That's it. And as I said, don't get overwhelming. We'll be writing the code from scratch in our next video. Kindly subscribe, like, and comment so that the next video will be more engaging. Thanks for watching and see you next time.